Hello everyone, I represent Bank Solutions, and today I want to show us how to make a beautiful butterfly gown with sleeve. As a matter of fact, we have done a butterfly gown on this channel. We have done with and without sleeve. I'll do well to link them up in the description box. But this one is a butterfly gown with sleeve and is completely different from the type of sleeve we added to the other one. My dress length is 63 inches. I will add 2 inches as seam allowance, and since I'll be cutting both the back and the front bodies together, I will cut that 65 inches twice. Here is the beautiful Ankara fabric that I want to use to make this bubu. I have folded it along the width from one edge to the other. Then I will fold over along the length. The folded sides are facing me here. This side is equally folded and it represents my shoulder line. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. It's a way of encouraging me. We have the vertical measurement and the circumference measurement. The vertical measurements will be needing are scrolling on the screen. Feel free to input your own measurements. For the circumference measurements, we have our bust circumference, waist circumference and our hips circumference. For the sleeve, we need from our center back to our desired bubu sleeve. Ideally, our chalk marking should be on the wrong side, but because this is a butterfly bubu, our marking will be done on the right side. Shoulder to the bust I want to use here is 11 inches. Shoulder to my waist is 17 inches. We are not putting any seam allowance there because we are not cutting off on the shoulder. My shoulder to my hips is 6 inches. And with my ruler, I'm going to be extending the marking. We will still transfer the lines on the other side. This bubu does not have a zip. And since we don't want it to be too snug on the body, we need to add some ease allowance of wearing to it. My bust is 41 inches. 41 divided by 4 will give me 10.25. I will add an ease of 1.25 to it. So altogether on my bust line, I'll be marking 11.5. My waist is 39. 39 divided by 4 will give me 9 3/4 plus 1 inch. That will give me 10 3/4. My hips is 47. 47 divided by 4 will give me 11 3/4. That's 11.75. Plus an ease of 1 inch. That will give me 12 3/4. Let me do 13 here. I just added a quarter to it. My waistline, I added 1 inch ease. On my bust line, I added 1/4 inch ease. And on my hips line, I equally added 1¼ ease. Whatever I have on the hips line, you can choose to add either 3 inches or 4 inches to it. Since I have 13 inches here, let me add 4 inches here. Or yes, I added 4 inches, so I have 17 inches down there. So I'm going to be connecting to my hem. Here on the hem, I went up by 8 inches, and from that I curved to the hem, and I'm going to be cutting it there. And when I'm going to be doing my sewing, I will not even allow it to get to the hem. I may stop around 15 or 17 inches before the hem so that I'll be able to walk. From the nape of my neck, I will measure to my desired bubu sleeve. From my desired sleeve length, I will curve down. I curve to the bust line. Then from the bust line, I curved it down to the hip. And from the hip, I will try to blend down to my hem line. As you can see, I'm trying to trim off the selvage. I don't want it to show in my final work. Let me reduce my sleeve length. The Bubu sleeve length is according to your preference. Now I'm going to be notching my bust point. That's where the sleeve will enter. The next thing we are going to be doing is to transfer our markings to the other side of the book. There are different ways in which we can transfer the line. What I'm doing now is to push a pin. You can watch the other butterfly gowns on my channel to see how we make our transfer, but this is just one of the ways. So what I'm doing is to check where the pin is to transfer the marking. So I will remove the pin now. You can see that it is very easy. If you push the pin, you just mark where the pin is, and from there I'll connect the marks. So from the bust, I will join to the waist and then to the hip. I'll be doing a V-neck for the front, and I marked a wideness of 3.5 inches for my front and 7 inches depth. When I'm going to be cutting my front neck, I'll lift it up a little bit, and then I will deepen my back neck by 1/2 inch. If you like, you can do 1, but I think 1/2 inch is just fine for me. Then we will do the facing. My across shoulder is 16 inches. 16 divided by 2 will give me 8 inches. So my normal sleeve will start from that 8 inches. The sleeve I'll be attaching under this Bubu is going to be a long sleeve. I want the length to be 20 inches and I want it to be a bit free. My desired sleeve is supposed to start from the tip of my shoulder. It is of no use starting the sleeve from the tip of the shoulder, since some parts will be hidden inside the Bubu. I will start my sleeve like 2.5 inches away from the end of my Bubu sleeve. 1/2 inches will be for serging the Bubu edge. So that means I'm starting 2 inches away from the Bubu edge. This is where I will be placing my sleeve. It will be 2 inches away from the Bubu sleeve and 6 inches away from the shoulder tip. If I subtract 6 inches from my sleeve length of 20 inches, I'll be left with 14 inches. So 14 inches will be my new sleeve length and not 20 inches. Since my shoulder to bust point is 11 inches, my sleeve width will be 22 inches by 14 inches. Let's go over the calculation again. Our sleeve length is 14 inches like we calculated. We need 1/2 inch to join it to the Bubu, to the inner Bubu. We need 2 inches for the elastic casing, and we still need like 2 more inches for the sleeve to be able to bounce. I'm doing a kind of bell sleeve, so I want it to be a bit wide. So instead of folding 22, instead of placing 11 inches on fold, I will be placing 15 inches on fold. So instead of having 22 inches, I'll be having 30 inches. That's 15 inches on fold. From my shoulder to bust is 11 inches. I will add 1/2 inch for joining allowance. So I'll measure that and then curve down. There's no type of sleeve you cannot put here. I'll be serging the edges of my gown, or better still, I'll use a bias binding for the finishing of the edges. Here is the neck of my dress and here is the facing. I notched both the neck and the facing at the center. I will use office pin to hold them together and I will sew it round. I'm done with the top stitching. I'll take it to the ironing table to give it a good press. I'll do the finishing on the neck. Now let's work on our sleeve. I have a wideness of 22 inches for my sleeve. I will mark the center and then turn my fabric to the wrong side. I used 1/2 inch for my serging, so I'm now left with 2 inches. So I'm going to go inwards by 2 inches. I will measure that 2 inches until I get to where my sleeve is terminating, and I will connect all the dots with a straight line. If your hand is not so straight, then you can use a ruler for your connection. The next thing is to pick up my sleeve. I will make sure that the right side of my sleeve is facing the wrong side of the bubu, and I will align the centers together. Then I used an office pin to hold the sleeve to the main bubu. You can see that I'm matching my sleeve with this 2-inch line that I marked earlier on. Now sew it down. I'm done joining the sleeve to the bubu. As you can see, we left a little seam allowance to join the sleeve together. This is our sleeve bubu. This is the inner sleeve. I'll now bring them together like this, and I will join it down with the allowance that I left. Mind you, you are not limited to only this type of sleeve. You can do any sleeve of your choice. In fact, I have another type of this that I did a layered sleeve. Now when I'm joining the sleeve, it's going to be right side facing right side. So I'm done sewing it now. I will make my elastic casing and add my elastic. This is the final outcome of our butterfly bubu dress with sleeve. Let me know if you want me to illustrate this type of bubu with a layered sleeve or any of your desired sleeve. If you've gone this far with me, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video.